I didn't execute how I should have. I didn't perform well enough for this team. And when you're going against the reigning Super Bowl champs who are 15-1 and the number 1 seed at Arrowhead, and you don't have your A game, you're not going to win the game. And that's what it was. Just a couple of decisions early on, trying to press. I think in the second half we kind of got things going a little bit better, but our red zone efficiency, settled for field goals when you got to score touchdowns against these guys, and that's basically it.
Right around the 2-minute mark, it looked like you were just staring and seeing it all unfold. Just wondering, I'm sure a lot of different emotions were running through your head, but what was the number one thing that was going through your mind at that point?
Obviously a lot of emotion. Anytime you don't finish the season with the win, I feel like that's the type of emotion you're going to have. But the way it ended, it doesn't sit right with me. How chippy and ticky-tacky got, and I'm disappointed in myself that I let my emotions get to me there. And it's not how you're supposed to play the game of football. And all the other stuff, it is what it is. But need to control what I can control, and I didn't there late in the fourth, and it's just not good football.
What's sort of just the magnitude of playing in Tom Brady against in a game like this?
Yeah, I mean, the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl. Being able to go up against one of the greatest, if not the greatest, quarterback of all time in his 150th Super Bowl, I mean, it's going to be a great experience for me. I mean, to go out there and have a chance to repeat and get to do it against the best, I mean, it's something special, and I'm excited for the opportunity.
I think he's saying Tom's old. 150th Super Bowl. That would be a record.
Little old.
I don't have the record and fact book in front of me, but 150 would be a record, especially since 10 is a record. No one else has more than 5, and Tom Brady's going to number 10. And this is 2 already for Patrick Mahomes at age 25. And
pretty amazing.
Chris, indulge me for a second here. I know you and I disagree about the overtime rule. I still believe that the team that kicks off should have a chance to match whatever the team that receives the kickoff does. The rule for a touchdown does not give the team that kicked off that courtesy. They took the Patriots to overtime, and they never touched the ball.
I know.
In overtime. It could be 3. And let me just stretch this rubber band a little bit farther, because in 2017, when they were slumping in the middle of the season and we were banging the drum, put in Mahomes, put in Mahomes, put in Mahomes, if Mahomes splashes in 2017 like he did in 2018,
who knows?
We could be looking at 4 in a row. And now the question becomes, how many more? I mean, win or lose in 13 days. This team is a machine, and it's not just Mahomes. Travis Kelce, incredible. Tyreek Hill. You don't even get your arms sore. All you got to do is throw a little pass, and he's got guys twisted and turned around. He
Best
does it
receiver
every
in
time
football.
the balls are in his hands. It's incredible.
Right. That's what you love about Kansas City, and that's why we sit here and go, how long can they do this? Because they've realized, wait, we have an awesome quarterback, and let's just put amazing talent around him, and therefore his talent even flourishes even more in that environment. And that's what we see. I mean, hey, rough start for the Chiefs yesterday. Oh, shocker. I mean, I don't know. Have you ever been less panicked about a team down 9-0 in a championship game than yesterday? I mean, my little boy there, he's sitting there stressed because he's Patrick. I'm going, buddy, relax. This is 9-0. This is the Bills defense. This isn't even Tennessee or the 49ers from last year. This will be no problem. They're going to come back in 7 seconds. Relax. And that's what they did. It just... Yeah, Bills played some good football and were fortunate early on with the muff punt, but once Kansas City got in the groove, they were unstoppable, and there was no way that Bills defense was going to be able to stop them in any facet. Mahomes, everybody, they got it going. It was fun to watch.
I sense a little sibling rivalry between your boy Phil and your boy Blue.
There is. My little boy is truly, it's funny because I see this with his friends too. These young quarterbacks, they're so likable. You know, whether it's Josh Allen, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield. I mean, I feel like they just flip-flop between those 4 guys all year long. It's just whoever's the hot one of the week they go to. But Mahomes, just amazing what we're seeing in front of us right now. He clearly answered the question last night. We love Josh Allen. He's a superstar. He's one of the 3 best quarterbacks in football. He's not quite Mahomes yet. He's not. We see Mahomes, just the way he can manipulate the pocket, make every throw in the history of mankind from every which arm angle. It's very special, and he is the king of the sport.
And here's the thing that we miss when we compare regular season Mahomes to regular season Allen. You don't see playoff Mahomes in the regular season. You get glimpses of him in certain games. And this is the reason why the Chiefs are in so many close regular season games. Everyone who is playing them is using the Chiefs as the ultimate measuring stick.
Yep.
And the Chiefs are just trying to survive 1 week at a time. You can't get yourself lathered up every single week the way the opponent is. For the opponent, it's like, this is the game we circled in April. We get our shot at the Chiefs. So they do what they have to do to win, and they went 14-2. They lost a meaningless game in Week 17 to the Chargers. But they win when they have to. They do what they need to do. But then when it's time to build your legacy, to win in the postseason, that's when they drop the hammer on you. And I think that's fundamentally the difference. To put the game in a nutshell, we saw the real Chiefs yesterday, and the real Bills aren't nearly good enough to compete with the real Chiefs.
No, the Bills are missing, you know, the bravado, the playoff, you know, what do I want to say, battle-tested mentality that Kansas City has. And as we've talked about many times, Mike, Kansas City has a handful of guys, not just 1 or 2 guys. Like, Buffalo's got Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. That's great. But Kansas City's got a handful of, what I just go, they're ballers. And what I mean by they're ballers, I mean when it's a big moment or a big game, they always pop up, and they're all over the screen, and you're just like, man, they're good. They have players. And, of course, you hit on the 2, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, how special they are. We see Chris Jones all over the place all night. The defensive secondary's got guys that rise to the challenge. Oh, wait, you don't think we can cover this group man-to-man? Watch us. They're the constant, we don't think the defense can do that, and then they show us they can all the time. And that, to me, is where the Bills need to go. They're missing, 1 or 2 alphas on both sides of the ball, and it'll change their team to where maybe next year they can compete with the Kansas City and actually beat them.
Well, and I don't want to get caught up in the narrative that you heard at the end of the game last night. If you flip on some of the other channels, it's and there's a certain element of pandering to the Bills Mafia because it is a powerful and potent fan base, and I don't want to be on their bad side. I don't want to be on the bad side of any mafia, especially not the Bills Mafia. But this presumption that I was hearing last night, well, they'll be back here next year. They'll be back here next year. Oh, look at the Dolphins.
AFC
maybe the Jets are going to start figuring out with Robert Saleh, and Bill Belichick's going to have a trick or two up off of his cutoff sleeves. I mean, you got to. When the door's open, you got to try to get through it because you never know when the door is going to be open again. Don't just assume the Bills are going to be back in the AFC Championship next year. They're going to be different. The teams they compete with are going to be different, and they got to go back to 0-0, and they got to climb out of it. And they're going to be a team that isn't quite at the level of Chiefs measuring stick for other teams next year, but they're going to have much more attention of everyone they play. They're the top dogs now in the AFC East, and they're going to have to try to get back to that spot after reaching that kind of status. So I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm just saying let's just not assume we're going to fast forward to the AFC Championship and the Bills are going to be back playing the Chiefs again next year. I don't think it's going to be quite as easy for either team, but especially not for the Bills. Sean McDermott, and we have said this time and again when it comes to playing the Chiefs. You need touchdowns. You need touchdowns. You can't just keep taking field goals because the Chiefs are going to score their touchdowns. Too many times last night, the Bills opted for the field goal, Chris, when you've got to score the touchdown if you're going to have a chance against the best.
No, I mean, yes, definitely. I'm with you there. I think, though, that just, the way the game was playing out, and how his offense was playing in general, I think he was a little scared. I think he's scared to, go for it on a 4th and 2, there at the end of the first half, right? It's 21-9. The offense had not been good to that point. That was really, other than the first drive, this drive before the half where they get the field goal, it's one of the only good drives they have of the whole first half. So I think
why not continue it?
I
you
know.
got the momentum.
But
12 play 73 drive, get 2 more yards.
I get it, but I also can understand the field goal at that point, just to go, listen, we got to go in with some momentum or something, and you cut it down, to a 9-point game. I understand. I'm not going to get mad about not going for it, at least at that point. Not quite yet. Not in the second quarter right there. Now, you want to get into later in the game when it was 24-12, right? And there was the third quarter. I believe they have a 4th and 3 if I'm, on the 8-yard line. There, okay. That's when I could start going, all right, we might need to get into the time here where it's the third quarter's coming to an end. You got to start thinking about touchdowns because your defense isn't looking good. Mahomes and the offense are a machine at this point. They're moving the ball at 5 yards at a time. We've seen Kansas City's offense. It's grown to where you want to play these conservative bullcrap, don't let them make big plays defenses. They'll pick you apart. So, Mike, I get you. I get you. I have more of a problem with the third quarter one than I do the one at the end of the second quarter.
There's an old cliche that sports doesn't build character, it reveals character. And I think of that because in these moments where the season is on the line and everything you've worked for all year long is coming down to this, that's where who you are as a coach comes out. And that's where you either act like Andy Reid did last week when he went for it on 4th and 1, trying to hold off the Browns, saying there is no tomorrow, or you get too cautious.
Yeah.
You've got to have that ability to grab the brass ring when it's within reach. Arians has it, Reid has it, and that's one of the reasons why they're both going to be meeting in the Super Bowl in 13 days in Tampa.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.